Veterans are gearing up for Veterans Day. We have the details.
And I'll be talking with Private First Class Dan Bell about why he chose to join the Marine Corps.
And are gas prices affecting your wallet?
From the University of South Dakota, this is Coyote News.
We have a lot to cover today. There's the stories you just heard.
And also a look at Coyote Volleyball and Media Day.
Plus blog, commentary, and how students show their veteran appreciation. But first, Haley Meyer has headlines.
Former South Dakota Governor Bill Janklo's dying of brain cancer. Last Friday, he made the announcement at a press conference. He says he came forward with the diagnosis because of a news report earlier that day. The report said Janklo closed his campaign finance account, which he's maintained since leaving office 9 years ago. The account held more than $850,000. He's donating that money to help sick individuals, and he's setting up a USD scholarship. Janklo says his only regret was in 2003 when he didn't stop at a stop sign. That decision ended a fatal crash with a motorcyclist. Yesterday, the president unveiled a new step to tackle early childhood education, and the move doesn't require Congress to get involved. Mr. Obama's having difficulties passing legislation recently. The new rules give Head Start programs a 5-year grant. After 5 years, failing programs compete for federal funding. He says boosting the nation's education system is economically imperative. A first grade teacher is losing her job after a Facebook post. Earlier this year, she posted that she's a warden of future criminals. She originally posted it to just friends, but it was forwarded to parents. She's appealing the ruling, but the judge says her act is inexcusable. And those are today's headlines.
Thanks, Haley. USD is implementing programs that should make it easier for veterans to pursue a college degree. Among the plans, the introduction of the Fee Days grant.
While I was in basic training, September 11th happened, and it kept me very busy for the next number of years. I came home and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Somebody referred me to school, and I started school up at University Center, and then I would go to school for a semester or two, and then I would volunteer for another deployment because there were still bases in need. And that pattern went on a number of times. So I came and went from USD 7 times before I finally decided, you know what, I need to finish school.
With the collaboration between the Office of Disability Services and the Center for Teaching and Learning, the $500,000 Fee Days grant was introduced on campus.
The best thing that this grant is doing is bringing people together, different administrative offices, and raising the question, how can we best serve our student veterans on campus?
During the Fee Days workshop, panels of student veterans speak about their experience within the classroom.
That may be the most powerful part of the workshop, is getting the faculty to interact with the students themselves and to be able to ask them, you know, what works, what doesn't work, what would be helpful in the classroom, what's not helpful in the classroom. And one of the unique things about Fee Days is that our focus has been on the classroom. What we've discovered is if we improve the learning environment for our student veterans, we actually improve the learning environment for all of our students.
Since Fee Days came online here on USD's campus, a huge amount of progress has been made. They've been able to educate the staff and faculty here at USD and at campuses across the state.
The Student Veterans Club not only serves students, but vets in the greater community as well. Last week, the group kicked off their annual care package drive. Every year, the club sends care packages to deployed soldiers from USD and Vermilion. President Eric Gage says 22 packages were mailed last year. This year, he's looking forward to another successful drive.
We have a great experience. Everybody enjoys it. We have a great turnout, a lot of donations, and every year it gets a little larger.
Veterans Day is Friday, and Gage says students should remember to do one thing to help celebrate the day.
Think of that. That's all you really need to do to celebrate Veterans Day. You know, you get a day off for Veterans Day, so, you know, think of that for giving you that day off and giving you the freedom to attend school.
Tonight, the club is hosting its 7th annual community supper until 8 o'clock at the Vermilion Armory. The supper will help send Pearl Harbor survivor and Vermilion native Daryl Christofferson to the Pearl Harbor 70th anniversary memorial event in December. On Friday, we're honoring those who served in our armed forces. Live reporter Teresa Johnson is at the Muck. She's joined by Marine Corps member Dan Bell to discuss Veterans Day.
We've brought you stories on past veterans, and now I'm here talking to a future U.S. veteran. Dan, can you tell me what made you want to join the Marine Corps?
Well, I wanted to do my part to help serve our country, and also the military has been a long tradition in my family. For as long as I can remember, we've had at least one person from each generation serve. And I wanted to be different and go down a different path with choosing the Marine Corps. And I like challenges, and I'm also known as a glutton for punishment. So.
Okay, and you're a junior here at USD. When did you decide to join the Marine Corps? How old were you?
I actually enlisted last year on April Fool's Day, so I wasn't even sure if my enlistment was real, but yeah, just back then.
Well, you're graduating next year. After graduation, what do you plan on doing for your future? Does it involve the Marine Corps?
I was thinking about that if I wanted to switch to active duty, and also being a journalism major here, I was just wondering if maybe I can go and do some like media journalism over there on the war and all that.
Okay, with the war that is happening in Iraq, did that have any influence in your decision to join the Marine Corps?
Not at all. I just want to help and do my part to serve this country.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Back to you.
Thanks, Teresa. USD accounting students were given the opportunity to seek jobs and internships at the Beacom School of Business's campus interview opportunity. Students were able to meet and interview with representatives from around the region and network for future job possibilities.
The university will soon be offering its master's degree in professional accountancy online. Students accepted into the program could complete the graduate degree in as little as 2 years. The MPA joins the business school's already well-established MBA. The new program begins in January.
Up next, human trafficking comes to USD.
And high gas prices on a college budget. Gas prices are often a topic for discussion, debate, and even complaints. For college students especially, filling up the tank can be a dreaded chore. As the economy plummeted, gas prices appeared to skyrocket, leaving students to fill up with little at a time or when absolutely necessary.
Usually the same place, usually 10, 15 bucks at a time. Don't fill up unless I'm going far away or to home.
Vermilion area gas prices currently run about $3.40 a gallon. Students may be complaining, but inflationdata.com indicates today's prices are very similar to 1918, and historically they've stayed relatively consistent. Amy Hilgenment of Valero says the average price of filling up a tank is about $50. She says customers always comment on gas prices.
It'd probably be around $50 now. If it was on empty and fill it completely.
For those worried about the price of gas, walking or biking to class might be an easy way to save a few dollars.
You might think high gas prices are a problem. However, Coyote Blog's Angelica Brackens is addressing a different concern.
And it might bring you to your knees. Well, one of them anyway.
Now, I'm sure most of you know about how fabulous and amazing Tim Tebow is and about how great his first game was as a starter for the Broncos. On October 23rd, less than 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter against the Miami Dolphins, the Broncos were down 15-0, and it was looking like Tebow really messed up this one, being only 4 out of 14 passes for 40 yards and being sacked a whole 5 times. But then something happened, something that rivals anything that could be done by the Dos Equis man or Chuck Norris. Tebow changed. He was no longer acting like a terrible quarterback that gets Broncos fans all hot and bothered. He morphed into a mediocre quarterback that gets Broncos fans all hot and bothered. Tebow changed the game around and ended up beating the Dolphins in overtime, 18-15. How did this miraculous turnaround happen? One answer, Tebowing. What's Tebowing, you ask? It's when you drop down on one knee, put your head down, prop your arm on your knee, and rest your forehead on a fist and pray. It's that simple. I bet Tebow threw down one of these bad boys towards the end of the fourth quarter. Everyone everywhere is doing it. People with shake weights, horseback riders, and even nerds. Then there are those that push the limits. Remember planking? There are those that take planking and Tebowing to a whole new level with the double planking Tebow. And then there's the double Tebow plank. I have a feeling Tebowing will be around for a while. I'll be Tebowing before each exam from now on. For Coyote Blog, I'm Angelica Brackens.
Thanks, Angelica. A lot is happening at the Fine Arts Center.
We'll take a look when Coyote News returns. USD just hosted the 57th Annual South Dakota Music Teachers Conference. The gathering featured music workshops from teachers while providing the public a special performance. A large audience filled Colton Recital Hall to hear famous pianist Adam Golka. Golka also taught master classes at the conference.
Such a nice fellow to have in our midst. He's very cooperative and obviously loves his instrument very much and plays it beautifully, so we're very honored to have him.
Golka performed works from Beethoven and Brahms, among other composers, but the final number was the most memorable.
My list, which was very showy and very exciting to hear. It was exciting to watch the audience when he played that, and they were so excited for him.
Golka is the winner of 2 American Musical Awards, and he's only 24 years old. The Department of Theater is presenting a workshop production of 4 one-act plays. The plays range from drama to action to mystery. They're directed by 4 theater students and will be shown November 11th through the 13th in the Arena Theater.
The world of human trafficking is the subject of a campus discussion next week. The Criminal Justice Club will be hosting Tommy Grover, the director of Traffic Stop and Anti-Human Trafficking Education and Awareness Campaign. Grover's address begins at 7 o'clock next Wednesday night in the Newhart Center.
Stay with us. Sports with Haley Meyer and Cassie Bartlett is up next.
They have highlights from this week's volleyball match and the latest news on Joe Paterno.
Today on Coyote Sports, find out how the women's basketball team is preparing for the start of the season.
The volleyball team is on a 4-game losing streak, and Kyle Miller's talking about a scandal that's rocking the sports world. But first, the sports headlines.
The football team's ranked for the 9th straight week. The Coyotes are 24th this week and are one of only 2 teams ranked in the Great West Conference. The other is North Dakota, which is ranked 22nd. UND and South Dakota go head-to-head November 19th. The women's swimming and diving team broke 2 school records Saturday, beating Northern Iowa at the Dome. Senior Liz Hoffman had a hand in both records. Hoffman won 2 events and set a 400 freestyle record. She was also the final leg of the 400 freestyle relay that also set a new school record. The Coyotes finished with 7 wins on the day. Former heavyweight boxing champion Joe Frazier died Monday night from liver cancer. The 67-year-old boxer was diagnosed with the disease last month. Frazier received many get-well cards from his fans in the last days preceding his death, some including offers to donate their own livers. He was a 2-time heavyweight champion and was most famously known for handing Muhammad Ali his first loss in 1971. Penn State coach Joe Paterno announced today he'll retire at the end of the football season, but it remains unclear if the university will allow him to coach that long in the wake of a sexual abuse scandal that's implicated top school officials. Paterno's immediate future is still in the hands of Penn State Board of Trustees, which meets on Friday. And those are your sports headlines.
Thanks, Haley. Last Friday, the volleyball team hosted Oakland for its second-to-last home game of the season. It was Parents' Night at the Dome, but parents would not be the only ones honored. Senior Carol Legato recorded 15 digs in the match, giving her more than 1,000 for her career. Legato is just the 9th player to surpass 1,000 digs and is currently ranked 9th in Lady Oat history. Oakland beat the Oats in 5 sets after the Coyotes overcame a 16-9 deficit in the 4th. The volleyball team also lost to IPFW on Sunday, making their record 13-17 overall. The Oats' next game is Friday on the road at North Dakota State. Last week, Coyote basketball hosted their annual media day. Men's coach Dave Boots says they continue to take the transition to the Summit League one season at a time.
You know, the most important season I think you have is the one that you have. We're not trying to build this thing 4 or 5 years from now. That's going to take care of itself. But you've got to prepare and have the best season you can have right now. That's the most important one we have.
We need to see where we fit. You know, we need to compete against these teams, and then you can progress your recruiting and things like that accordingly. But you know, we've been waiting for this a long time. The Summit League talk has been out there. Now we're in it, and let's see where we fit.
As Jillian Doom reports, women's basketball coach Ryan Williams says this year's team is ready for the season.
With 5 returning starters and several underclassmen, the USD women's basketball team is anticipating a successful 2011-2012 season.
We do know it's going to be a physical league, and so a lot of people might think, well, we've been having really physical practices. You know, we've had some of those, but we probably are taking a little different approach, and we got to save ourselves. You know, we don't have tremendous depth inside, and so we know it's going to be a long, grinding year. So we got to make sure we go through that thing healthy and fresh.
With so many returners, the Coyotes are improving on their system instead of having to reteach it.
Well, I think we're a lot farther along than we have been in the past, just with everybody's just more accustomed to what we're doing. They're really used to our system. We've been able to put in a few new things because of the familiarity with our old stuff, and so that's been nice.
With a challenging schedule ahead of them, Coach Williams thinks the Coyotes will be able to compete with their tough new opponents.
Kids play well together. I mean, they encourage each other. It's a very positive, vibrant, I think, style that we play. You know, we like the 3-ball. I think fans like to see the 3-ball go in. We've got a big kid that can really run the floor. That's always fun to watch. And you know, I think we value every possession. We take the game extremely serious, and we're not loose with the basketball. I don't think we're a sloppy type of team. And so, you know, the women's basketball game it's really evolved over the last, you know, 10, 15 years, and we've evolved with it.
For Coyote Sports, I'm Jillian Doom.
On this week's Miller Zone, Kyle Miller reacts to the Penn State scandal.
As Haley Myers just reported, the Penn State sex abuse scandal continues. It seems like new developments are made every hour. As a diehard college football fan, the allegations at Penn State are absolutely revolting. It's sickening to know the athletic director, campus president, and the Penn State administration didn't take action years ago. I've used my commentary to bash the BCS and universities that encounter sanctions for punishments. And suddenly, that doesn't seem to matter anymore. The news that broke at Penn State makes the BCS, Miami, and Ohio State scandals seem petty and pale. What saddens me most are the actions of Joe Paterno and the Penn State administration. They are the symbol of the right way to run a college football program: integrity, loyalty, and a program built on morals and values. And then this happened. Did Joe Pa fulfill his legal obligation? Well, yes, his job was to notify campus authorities. Did he do what was morally right? No. Paterno's the most powerful man at Penn State, and to think otherwise is downright absurd. All Paterno and Penn State had to do was go to the state college police and take care of these situations when they happened. If he did, Paterno comes out of this a respectable, authoritative man, and the administrators come out as no-nonsense figures who uphold the university's integrity. And now, Joe Pa and Penn State's reputations are shattered. It won't matter that Paterno has the most wins in NCAA football history. What will matter is the fact that he and PSU played a role in the most sickening and degrading scandal in sports history. And if you think I'm overreacting, I'm not. Put yourself in the reported victims' and parents' shoes and look at what they've had to put up with for over a decade, at least. This is worse than selling memorabilia for tattoos, worse than pawning humans for money, and worse than buying your way into a marquee football program. This scandal revolves around the abuse of children and how the story was swept under the rug. Everyone involved in this scandal should be fired. If it means Penn State goes 0-12 the next 5 years or gets the NCAA death penalty, then so be it. Situations like these should never happen. Abuse is revolting, but to cover it up for a decade or probably longer, it makes me sick. If the NCAA has any backbone whatsoever, they will make Penn State pay, because scandals of these magnitude should never, ever happen again. For the Miller Zone, I'm Kyle Miller.
Thanks, Kyle. And that's all for Coyote Sports. Coming up, see why commentator John Hines thinks students should stay at home when they're sick.
With cold and flu season upon us, more people are becoming ill, and many of those people still come to school, even if they aren't feeling well. On this week's commentary, John Hines gives you reasons why you should stay at home. So if you're feeling under the weather, please stay home. But remember to email your professors and let them know you'll be gone. Everyone will thank you later.
You don't have to be a member of the armed forces to appreciate veterans. This week on Out and About, we asked you how appreciation should be shown to the vets.
I would say thank you for all the hard work you've put in sacrificing yourself for our country and spending all that time away from your friends and family for people that you don't know, but we all appreciate it.
I'd say to be very courteous towards them. If you recognize that they are a veteran, just be very respectful towards them.
I would donate my time at a veterans home to help support them.
The only best I can do right now is just say thank you. That's it.
You guys have given us a lot of freedom in the country, and because of that, you've made us able to do a lot of different things. So we're really thankful.
Thank you. They do a lot for us. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you, and that they're always supported, at least through me.
Well, I'd say that they deserve the respect, they deserve they deserve the praise, and they deserve notification of their services.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your service, and God bless you.
Come back home soon. Thanks, and I appreciate what you're doing for the country.
A new issue of the award-winning Volant hit newsstands today. This week, read about the new Coyote statue. Number 3 came out on top. Catch that story and more on volantonline.com. You can also check out the Coyote News link on the page.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great night and a good weekend. We'll see you next time.